Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Thursday, December 29, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. MOU signed for $900 million revolving fund to set stage for boosted forestry production. Construction of houses in Silica to start in 2023, says CROAL. CH&PA to fix community roads next year, says CEO. Prime suspects in KANEVILLE businessman's murder arrested, and Iwokrama, a true example of sustainable tourism. Now for the news in detail. The Guyana government and Demerara Bank today inked a memorandum of understanding to activate a $900 million revolving fund that would increase production in the forestry sector. Rupasine Ryan reports.
With this funding, the government through the Guyana Forestry Commission will be able to assist in the enhancement and expansion of small and medium-scale loggers to meet the growing demands. From the arrangement, Demerara Bank will contribute $600 million, while government will put the remaining $300 million from its coffers. Through a 4% interest rate, stakeholders will be pre-qualified based on recommendations from the Commission, followed by a mechanism for them to access financing for greater production. Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh said this funding will be deployed for affordable lending and ensure that the Guyanese economy is not dependent on one sector.
This MOU is to be viewed against the background of a very explicit and emphatic commitment on the part of President Ali's government to ensure, first of all, resilience of the Guyanese economy, and in particular resilience through ensuring a diversified economy, and in particular by ensuring that our economy does not become an economy that is solely dependent on an individual productive sector.
Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat shared that upon entering office in 2020, access to financing was a major concern for stakeholders as well as concessions.
To date, the Guyana Forestry Commission would have allocated over 100 concessions to small loggers, the local Guyanese loggers. And today we are addressing the second issue, which is financing for small loggers especially. So it is indeed pleasing for me as Minister of Natural Resources that we have reached this stage where we have bargained, of course, with the intervention of His Excellency President Ali.
Meanwhile, General Manager of Demerara Bank Limited Daulat Parbru expressed that Guyana gains confidence from both the public and private sector for support to indigenous sectors. Additionally, it is a way of diversifying credit.
It is quite important for us also to see as an institution to ensure that credit is well diversified, more particularly to the developmental sectors of Guyana. And I think today is a very good day where Guyana again sees the commitment of the government and also private sector to ensure that those indigenous sectors are not left behind.
Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Guyana's first smart urban center, Silica City, will undergo significant developments in the new year. And according to Housing Minister Colin CROAL, this includes the construction of houses, which is slated to start in the coming months. Here is Vanu Manikchand with the details.
A site in the vicinity of Kururu on the Linden Suzaik Highway has already been earmarked for the development of the first phase of Silica City. In a telephone interview with this newscast, Housing Minister Colin CROAL disclosed that the ministry has embarked on getting clearance for the commencement of construction works on houses within the secondary city.
You see us advertising for a number of areas for infrastructure work next year. Yeah. Currently, you see the details on that. That is for clearance and infrastructure work for us to commence on the houses, because we're building some houses there too. Can definitively tell you that in the new year we will be commencing construction of houses at the center.
It was previously reported that the Housing Ministry has already begun shortlisting persons for these homes. The first phase development of the city is also expected to feature a number of commercial and industrial developments, as well as hospitals. Back in September, it was disclosed that government was in talks with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, on the development of the Innovation Village within Silica City. According to Minister CROAL, those discussions are still ongoing.
Remember that team that came here?
Yes.
So, work is still proceeding behind the scenes. I wouldn't want to come in for that. The other one, all the other things are taking place that I don't want to speak for that.
Silica City, a brainchild of President Dr. Irfan Ali since 2013, has generated much interest. Only in September, Saudi Arabian Dar Consultants made a presentation on the city. Then in November, South Korean company Yichon Architect and Urban Planners pitched a 7-year plan for Silica City. It had previously been explained that the city would initially cater for just over 3,000 house lots in the first 5 years and eventually grow to house more than 12,500 households. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
After an excellent performance this year, the Central Housing and Planning Authority anticipates many more developments across Guyana in the coming year. Those developments would see more persons becoming homeowners and infrastructure in communities being enhanced. Here is Vanu Manikchand again with the details.
This was revealed by Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Sherwin Greaves. He explained that 2022 was an excellent year for the agency, especially in the housing sector.
2022 was an excellent year for the agency. I can say when looking at the figures today, we have surpassed our targets of 20,000 house lots at the end of this year. So we have been able to achieve that. We have been able to take thousands of new homeowners to their new house lots, to their new allocations, so they can start building their new homes. We have moved hundreds of residents into new homes that were built through partnership with the private sector. So all in all, 2022 was an excellent year for the agency.
Going forward in 2023, the CH&PA head declared that much more will be done to advance the goals and mandate of the agency. This, he explained, includes enhancing the infrastructure in communities across the country.
We expect to commence massive infrastructure works in existing housing schemes. I know there have been constant complaints about the road networks in our existing scheme. I can assure you, by the end of April, that will no longer be a complaint.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
The Ministry of Public Works has announced that from today to tomorrow, Friday, December 30, asphaltic concrete paving works will be conducted on the Parika main access road from First Coker to Green Grain Shop. This would result in disruption of the normal flow of traffic. As such, motorists and pedestrians are asked to take extra care and caution when using this route. The works are being executed by P. Hariram and Son Contracting. Coming up, works on Chatamargo Bridge expected to be completed tomorrow, and Guyana in danger of insufficient local engineers, other professionals, ILO warns. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
This Christmas, give the gift of life by protecting your loved ones against vaccine-preventable diseases. The Ministry of Health's nightly vaccination campaign continues throughout December at the Ministry of Health tarmac up to 7 p.m., Mondays to Saturdays. Administration of the HPV vaccine for children begins from 9 years old. So come out, adults, and bring your children to get vaccinated against HPV. But that's not all. Since it's a season of giving, we are gifting back to school supplies to children receiving HPV and COVID-19 vaccines throughout December. Adults, Gifts for you too when you are vaccinated at the Ministry of Health, Brickdam, on December 25th, 26th, and 31st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, contact us at 226-8171 or 226-3103. Vaccinate what you create. A message from the Ministry of Health and UNICEF.
With unlimited games to choose from, you can be a winner with SuperBet. Choose from our virtual sports, live betting, sports betting, live roulette, and much, much more. Place your bets at www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 18 and over. Play responsibly.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optic, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to their ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optic takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optic Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
Ocho. 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 Organic Ocho candy. What's inside counts.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe. Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
This Christmas, give the gift of life by protecting your loved ones against vaccine-preventable diseases. The Ministry of Health's nightly vaccination campaign continues throughout December at the Ministry of Health tarmac up to 7 p.m. Mondays to Saturdays. Administration of the HPV vaccine for children begins from 9 years old. So come out, adults, and bring your children to get vaccinated against HPV. But that's not all. Since it's a season of giving, we are gifting back to school supplies to children receiving HPV and COVID-19 vaccines throughout December. Adults, gifts for you too when you are vaccinated at the Ministry of Health, Brickdam, on December 25th, 26th, and 31st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, contact us at 226-8171 or 226-3103. Vaccinate what you create. A message from the Ministry of Health and UNICEF.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. The 35 million Chatham-Margaux Bridge on the railway embankment is progressing well on course for a possible completion date of December 30, 2022. This is according to the Ministry of Public Works. The project, which began in early November, is part of a wider program by the ministry to replace aquapanel bridges with precast, pre-stressed concrete structures for strong and durable infrastructure countrywide. Earlier this month, over $5 billion in contracts were signed to continue infrastructural works to advance the modernization and sustainable development of the country's infrastructure. Of the mammoth $96.1 billion budget allocation, $76.7 billion was allocated to improve roads and bridges countrywide. Some $173.9 million was budgeted for the construction, rehabilitation, and maintenance of bridges in Garden of Eden, Chatamargo, Betterville-Acting, and Cemetery Road in Georgetown. Police have detained the prime suspect in the murder-robbery of businessman Shimron Adams after a woman who shared a relationship with both men confessed to her knowledge of the crime. Rupasine Ryan tells us more.
Businessman Shimron Adams was killed on Boxing Night at his Durban and Chapel Street's Georgetown business place. The 41-year-old, who operated a liquor store, was killed during a daring robbery after he was attacked by two male suspects. The prime suspect, Andrew Ridley, has been arrested by police. This is after the woman who was with Adams at the time of the robbery was taken into custody. She reportedly told police that she shared a relationship with the businessman and it was her boyfriend Ridley who executed the act. This newscast understands that Ridley was also wanted in connection to another killing and has had previous brushes with the law. Initial details revealed that at about 23 hours 30, Adams closed his business place and started to pack items into a freezer. He was in the company of the said 29-year-old woman. About 10 minutes later, he opened the shutter for them to leave from the bottom flat, but the two suspects entered the building and ordered them to lie on the ground, and they complied. After confiscating his bag and jewelry, the suspect, who was armed with a firearm, then discharged a round at Adams and it struck him in the right abdomen. He fell to the ground and remained unconscious and was subsequently rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Meanwhile, police have arrested the second suspect in the murder of the businessman, 20-year-old Akilo Marshall of Independence Boulevard, East Penitence, Georgetown. The suspect was arrested in Region 6 by ranks in that division who were acting on information received that he was attempting to flee the country to Suriname. The International Labour Organization has done a study and produced a report warning that, given the current number of graduates in technical fields such as engineering, Guyana is in danger of not having enough locals to fill these fields as the oil and gas sector grows. Find out more in this report.
In its report titled Prospective Occupational Skill Needs in the Guyanese Oil and Gas Industry 2022 to 2026, the ILO warned that this danger could manifest if Guyana continued to produce tertiary education graduates in engineering at the current rate. The ILO noted that between 2020 and 2021, there were a total of 172 local tertiary graduates in fields directly linked to the oil and gas industry's most in-demand jobs over the next few years. It said a somehow simplistic but possibly useful exercise consists in comparing the number of graduates to the needs of the economy. At first sight, if one limits the analysis to the sample of respondents, the number of tertiary students graduating in relevant subjects may be able, if sustained over the next years, to fulfill the estimated demand in the industry. For example, the ILO said 268 engineers expected to be hired over the next 5 years could be supplied locally if 172 engineers graduate yearly from the University of Guyana. In this regard, the ILO posited that, and I quote, if one considers the entirety of the oil and gas value chain, or a sample represents 48% of the total employment therein, the graduate supply will likely be barely sufficient for its needs, end quote. The ILO pointed out, however, that when the rest of the economy was considered, the current number of tertiary education graduates in technical, oil and gas, and other related fields was not enough to meet Guyana's labor market needs. It said, and I quote, this is in particular true for the category of health and safety professionals. 50 of them will be needed in the next 5 years in the industry, which normally require a higher education degree associated with relevant work experience. From the analysis of offer of higher education, It appears that dedicated degrees are not currently offered in Guyana in this field, end quote. When it comes to Guyana's Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET program, the ILO noted that there are gaps in terms of providing training and adequate local personnel for two of the most in-demand oil and gas professions in the industry, ship deck crew and ship and aircraft controllers and technicians.
What is even better than a breathtaking tourism experience? Sustainability, and Iwokrama offers just that. Andrew Carmichael recently visited the area where a unique reserve of 371,000 hectares of rainforest is sustainably managed. Here is this story.
The Iwokrama rainforest, a unique reserve of 371,000 hectares of rainforest, is managed in a manner that will lead to lasting ecological, economic and social benefits to the people of Guyana and the world in general. The Iwokrama forest and its research center are unique, providing a dedicated site in which to test the concept of a truly sustainable forest, where conservation, environmental balance, and economic use can be mutually reinforced. Key feature of the rainforest is its canopy walk, comprising of a series of suspension bridges. During the Evening News' recent trip to the tourism site, tourist guide Tashi Roberts revealed more about the natural paradise.
You probably heard about green heart tree and never see one probably. These two trees that you see in front is called green heart. This is how it looks like.
How do you identify green heart tree?
Green heart tree, they grow where there is not much buttress like the other trees. They grow right from the bottom straight all the way to the top. But the other trees would normally have this huge buttress like the Mora tree, the Wadara tree, because the nutrients is right at the top. So like for example during the rainy season, most of the trees would normally collapse in the rainforest because they must be soft and the roots are just shallow, and when the heavy breeze come, like they push one side where it can balance, because out there the weight is more than here. So when it go one side where it can't balance, that's when the breeze blow, that's when it collapse. This vine here is called the Capadula vine. Famous one, I could say, in the market. The Capadula vine, back in days when our forefather used to do balata bleeding, when they go in the forest for the first time, like let's say for example, if you don't know the area, especially if you don't know where there is a creek, where there is a pool of water, where there is a swamp, and you don't have any water around. So what you do, once you know this vine here, you cut it into two pieces, and you leave the piece that you cut out, you have a fresh water coming out of the vine, and that's what you drink out of the vine. The big tree that you see in front there is called bulletwood, locally known as balato tree or balato wood. That's where they would usually get it sap. Back in days, probably in 70s and 60s, Guyana was one of the countries that used to export latex out of this tree, out of the country for making rubbers and tires. That was during World War I and World War II.
Jaguars, monkeys, large spiders, the giant anteater, and many other wildlife are found at Iwokrama. Most people visiting the forest do so for the canopy walkway, which is 595 feet above the ground.
So guys, we have like about 150 steps ahead of us. Good for them. That could definitely tell me that you're sleeping.
You'll be fine.
So, not been counting, but I'm sure we passed 75. Kind of tiring, but gonna keep going. And would you believe this? After reaching the top, you now have to go down a few stairways before you get to the walkway. So this is like walking above the rainforest. Not just that, the walkway itself is kind of scary. Iwokrama offers scenic accommodation for its guests. There are 8 rooms, each with a capacity to accommodate 2 persons.
We have the canopy walkway, that is our main activity here, as well as the short trail walks we would normally offer to clients to come, like for day tours or overnight. It depends on what they want to do. and birding as well, which is the main activity here as well for most of our birders who come.
So these are these short trip walks or walks through the rainforest?
Yes, it is.
When on that trip, what can they experience?
Well, in terms of
what is there to see while they're walking, you know,
well,
the experience?
The forest, it's, you know, it depends, you know, sometimes you're lucky, you would see, you know, animals like deer, tapir, monkeys, birds, you name them, a lot of them. But it's actually, you have to get a luck to see those things.
Andrew Carmichael, the Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, December 30th at 11 hours and then again at 23:30 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, December 30th at 10:10 hours for a period of 1.5 hours.
President's Cup Regions 4 and 3 march into finals, and regional 4-day cricket absent from Guyana in 2023. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
This Christmas, give the gift of life by protecting your loved ones against vaccine-preventable diseases. The Ministry of Health's nightly vaccination campaign continues throughout December at the Ministry of Health tarmac up to 7 p.m. Mondays to Saturdays. Administration of the HPV vaccine for children begins from 9 years old. So come out, adults, and bring your children to get vaccinated against HPV. But that's not all. Since it's a season of giving, we are gifting back to school supplies to children receiving HPV and COVID-19 vaccines throughout December. Adults, gifts for you too when you are vaccinated at the Ministry of Health, Brickdam, on December 25th, 26th, and 31st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, contact us at 226-8171 or 226-3103. Vaccinate what you create. A message from the Ministry of Health and UNICEF.
It's November already and soon it will be Christmas, so we at John Lewis Styles are giving away one Amazon Echo show every week in November and every day in December. Stream music and videos, make video calls and control smart devices, alarms, reminders and lots more. Every $5,000 spent gives you a chance to win when you shop for clothing, footwear, watches, fragrances, handbags, luggage and accessories. So visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Mechanics, Sylvie's has all the equipment you need to make your job easier and your business profitable. Visit our 31 High and Hatfield Street store and choose from our wide array of shop presses, engine hoists, oil drain pans, parts washers, jack stands, bottle and floor jacks, hand tools and much more. Can't make it to the store? Shop online at sylviesonline.com and have it delivered. Call or WhatsApp 623-7755 for more info.
This Christmas, give the gift of life by protecting your loved ones against vaccine-preventable diseases. The Ministry of Health's nightly vaccination campaign continues throughout December at the Ministry of Health tarmac up to 7 p.m. Mondays to Saturdays. Administration of the HPV vaccine for children begins from 9 years old. So come out, adults, and bring your children to get vaccinated against HPV. But that's not all. Since it's a season of giving, we are gifting back to school supplies to children receiving HPV and COVID-19 vaccines throughout December. Adults, gifts for you too when you are vaccinated at the Ministry of Health, Brickdam, on December 25th, 26th, and 31st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, Contact us at 226-8171 or 226-3103. Vaccinate what you create. A message from the Ministry of Health and UNICEF.